going, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So we have a ton to talk about in today's video, mainly revolving around Kristaps Porzingis and the Dallas Mavericks. As we all know now, they lost in Game 7 to the LA Clippers, and a lot of people just have the future of the Dallas Mavericks on their mind. What's going to happen with Kristaps Porzingis, who really just looked like a basic role player in this series, at least for much of it, right, man? So before we get going on this video, if you guys don't mind dropping that like, 1,000 likes is always the goal, and it really does help grow the channel and the series and all that good stuff, man. Thank you guys so much for all the support you've been showing on these videos as of late. And if you are new to the channel, guys, hit that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to 300,000 subscribers. Okay. So basically, like, the TLDR message is that Kristaps Porzingis is not working out in Dallas. Now, I will say, when it comes down to it, if you look at his regular season stats, I mean, the big glaring issue you can obviously is the injuries. I mean, when it comes down to it, man, like, Luka Doncic is one of the best players in the NBA, so you want that second guy in command to be out there on the court, not only just to take pressure off Luka, but also to build chemistry for those big moments, like in the playoffs, right? But on the regular season, Porzingis, 20 points, 9 rebounds per game, 38% from 3, overall, like, pretty damn solid numbers, was playing some defense, like, he was okay, right? Now, like I said, that's only in 43 games on the season, right? Now in the playoffs, in the 7 playoff games that he played this year, 13 points, 5 rebounds, about 29% from 3, and just overall, like I was saying, man, like just looking like a role player out there, just looking like somebody that just doesn't have the confidence and doesn't really know how to work around Luka Doncic. And, you know, Porzingis recently just went on the record to say that he almost feels like a forgotten star, that he's lost in the shadow of Luka Doncic. And when it comes down to it, man, you know, Luka is a very dominant guard. It's just the style of play. You want the ball in his hands. Now, when it comes down to it, though, you do have like a little fine line right there where you don't want to cross if you are the Dallas Mavericks. You know, you don't want to get too far into territory where this Luka Doncic team all of a sudden starts looking like a James Harden Houston Rockets team, where it's one guy literally doing everything. He puts up historical crazy stats, but, you know, come playoff time, we all know hero ball does not really work. So you definitely don't want that to happen. So, you know, there has to be some accountability with Luka Doncic too when getting players involved. I mean, the man averages assists and everything, but assists is not always a good indicator of overall team chemistry, right? So I do think it's a little bit of both, but I don't think this is one of those cases. I really think Porzingis, you know, outside of the injuries, you just look at how he's played in this series, man, and he just settles so much. Like, he forgets that he's 7'3". This is a 7'3" person. You have probably never met a 7'3" person in your entire life unless you went to a damn Dallas Mavericks or New York Knicks game and saw Kristaps Porzingis or Boban. Maybe you saw Taco Fall. I saw Boban one time before, man. Pretty tall man, literally like tree stumps for legs and arms, and just his entire body, basically one big ass tree, right? But when it comes down to it, man, like, the way Kristaps Porzingis plays is like, he settles a lot for like spot up threes and just spot up mid-range shots. Occasionally they'll run a play where he does like a baseline cut, and that's really a nice kind of play for him just because he got that length to him, and he really does have like a bit of quickness for a big guy. And that's one thing about him, man, is that I've been saying for a while that I wish that Porzingis was like 7 foot tall or 7'1". I feel like that extra 2 inches for him, it hurts him, you know, in the injury category, but also just makes him a little bit too awkward out there on the court. I feel like if he was a little bit shorter, I know basketball, you only wish for guys to be shorter, that he would move with a little bit more grace out there, right? But yeah, he just looks like somebody that's trying to like kind of fit in as a role player to this team. And that's the thing about it. When it comes down to Luka Doncic, specialty players work phenomenal around him, man. Got guys that are like these utility knives that you know exactly what you are going to get out of them, right? I mean, you look at Maxi Kleber around the team. He's a guy that is one of the best 3-and-D players in the entire NBA. He shoots threes and plays good defense. You got Dorian Finney-Smith, who could just slash to the basket, play some good defense, do a little bit of everything out there, knock down a 3-point shot, just a really good Swiss Army knife. You got Tim Hardaway, whose job is to get buckets, and he's been doing it pretty damn good as of late. Boban, like I said earlier, his job, his specialty is to be tall as hell, man, and it works at times. But then you got Porzingis, and it's just like he doesn't really know what his role is. He's trying to play a certain way, but he needs to be that aggressive second option that does everything out there, man. I want him posting up. I want him to be so unpredictable on offense. I want him to go down the court, and teams don't know how to, you know, manage a defensive scheme around him because he can kill you in any way. But if he's settling for the 3-point shot or the spot up mid-range shot, that's really easy to play defense on, especially a guy that just doesn't really play with much aggression in the first place, right? So over on my Twitter account, at CrispyFlakes2K, I asked you guys to give me some trade proposals. What are some trades to get Kristaps on a different team and to get Luka Doncic a new type or a few new types of teammates around him? Now, when we go through these, let's keep in mind this is Twitter. I'm also going to give you guys a few of my trade suggestions. These are not like, you know, guys, we're not GMs. We're not owners, right, man? We're not sitting there and like meticulously like thinking of the cap space and every single little thing. So these are basic, like, off the top of our head, this makes sense. Obviously, some other picks or players might be included to make it work. So I think that's probably the best way to think about this. So the first thing we all realize about him is that right now Kristaps' trade value is probably at an all-time low based off this playoff series and his injury history. So like I was saying, other pieces in these cases would need to be included. It's a circumstance where I don't think you can simply trade Kristaps one-on-one for somebody and get a way better player. You might be able to get somebody similar or somebody a little bit worse that maybe just fits with the Dallas Mavericks better, but that's one thing to consider, right? So the first trade we have here is by Yahoo Zion Williamson. That is the Twitter user, man. And this trade I was actually kind of vibing with a little bit here, man. It kind of caught me off guard. It was Kristaps to the Washington Wizards for Davis Bertans, Ish Smith, and Denny Avila. And the reason I like this trade because, you know, Davis Bertans, I mean, he does what Porzingis does on offense, shoots threes, he just does it way better. And we know that's his specialty. That is what he is going to do. You're not expecting other things out of him. Ish Smith, you know, leave him or take him, whatever you want to do with him, man. Like, it's fine. You know, Ish Smith is a good backup point guard. But also Denny Avila. What I like about him is that, you know, he's kind of been lost in the Washington Wizards offense as a rookie. Obviously, had injury issues and stuff too. But when it comes down to it, Denny is a guy that you want the ball in his hands at times. So it would be interesting him running out there with the Dallas Mavericks and being able to be like that primary, or I guess that secondary ball handler to Luka Doncic. I feel like that could work out pretty nicely. Plus, at times, he's a decent shooter. So, you know, he can also be that off-ball type of guy too, but I think there'll be a lot of opportunities for him to have the basketball in his hands, make plays for Luka and the other guys on the team, as opposed to being behind Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal, who are extremely ball dominant themselves, right? So that trade definitely was interesting. Next up, we have another trade by Talking Buckets. This one, I didn't really know how to feel about it. It was Porzingis for Miles Turner. So you look at the Indiana Pacers side of things, the only way I'm trading Miles Turner is probably to get like more of a small ball team that's running Sabonis at the center spot, TJ Warren at the 4, and trying to trade, you know, Miles Turner for some sort of like forward out there at the 3 spot. But overall, you know, if you're the Pacers, you trade for Porzingis, I don't really know if that makes them a better team. Miles Turner, you get the defense. Both guys probably have room to grow as far as just like tenacity offensively, but it doesn't really seem like much of a lateral or a vertical move for either side. And I guess, you know, if you got Miles Turner over on the Mavericks, he's obviously not like as big a name as Porzingis, so I could already see Maverick fans not liking it just because of that. But I mean, you know, he would be I do think he would fit in the team as far as if you wanted to be like a 3-and-D type of guy. That could work out pretty nicely. So I would say as of this moment, I probably like Miles Turner right now more than I like Kristaps Porzingis, just personally speaking. We also have a trade here by Phenomenal Bopper, or Booper. He said Marcus Smart, Romeo Langford, Aaron Nesmith, and a second-round pick for Kristaps Porzingis and Dwight Powell. That is not Norman Powell, Dwight Powell. So, okay, I can already see Celtic fans not liking this trade, but I will say if they are trying to trade Marcus Smart, or if management is going to do that, it's not a bad little route to go. Obviously, they need some more size on the Boston Celtics, and when it comes down to it, man, like, I actually really like the idea of a team, especially lengthwise, of having, you know, Kemba Walker, Jalen at the 2, Jason Tatum at the 3, Kristaps at the 4, and then Robert Williams at the 5. Or you can obviously go with Porzingis at the 5 with Tatum at the 4 and get other, you know, pieces out there too. But I really do think that Porzingis would be a great, like, 3rd, 4th option guy on the Boston Celtics. The thing that this does not really solve is that obviously Porzingis wants to be a bigger role on the team. So either he has to start playing like that, or he has to accept that he is going to be a damn 3rd option on a championship team, right? He's not proven to be a 2nd option on a championship team. So chemistry-wise, I don't really like it. But, you know, meanwhile, you look at the Dallas Mavericks side of things, and getting Marcus Smart, he fits in perfectly. Like, he fits in that culture, exactly what they would need at that 2 spot. And then Langford and Smith, like, those are guys that could become really solid NBA players. Getting picks is obviously good too, so not bad. Next up, we got Forrest Harrison, who said Steven Adams and a sign and trade of Josh Hart for Kristaps Porzingis. So Steven Adams would obviously just be a good grit and grind center type of player on the Dallas Mavericks. Josh Hart, oh my God, him with Luka Doncic, that would that would fit so nicely, man. He is one of the best rebounding guards in the NBA, and the man just hustles out there. I actually really like this trade. And then Porzingis really would be a good, solid center alongside Zion. Like, to me, that just makes sense. I actually really like this trade a lot here, man, for both sides, so not bad. Next, we got the man CSB, the rebuild god, guys. So he has two different trades right here. These are kind of like change of scenario type of trades. The first one he said straight up was Kevin Love for Kristaps Porzingis. So obviously Porzingis gets to go be a main option on the Cleveland Cavaliers, and then Kevin Love, who is more of a veteran, who I still think can bring something out there, gets to go and compete with the Dallas Mavericks, and hopefully he is the type of veteran that they need. So contracts match up. It's just a matter of, you know, obviously Kevin Love is older, but at the same time in this moment, it's like he could still be a really solid good player. And the Porzingis on the Cavaliers, I think, isn't bad either. And then he also said Buddy Hield and Marvin Bagley for Kristaps Porzingis. So Buddy Hield fits in nicely. He would take over like that Tim Hardaway type of role on the Dallas Mavericks. Marvin Bagley, I mean, we don't exactly know what he is. He's also an injury-prone type of power forward / center. So it could work out beautifully where he comes to the Mavericks, or maybe he really is just a bust, and we don't really know. And then Porzingis just gives a nice little solid option for the Sacramento Kings alongside De'Aaron Fox. I really like those trades a lot. And then we have Mike James YouTube says Porzingis for a lemon pudding cup. If it's not vanilla, I don't want it, man. Okay, nobody wants a lemon pudding cup. But then again, maybe nobody wants Kristaps Porzingis either. I don't really know. And then I have two trades. Well, I guess technically three trades. But, okay, this first one, Raptor fans, I'm sorry, leave me alone. You guys are going to come at me in the comment section below. Like I said, assume there's other picks and players involved in this. But some sort of trade surrounding Porzingis and Pascal Siakam. The reason I say that is because, to me, Pascal, the position he can play on a basketball court is pretty one-dimensional. He is a power forward. Like, I don't like him as center. He's too slow for a small forward. So, based off of this NBA draft, it sounds like, you know, based off the mock drafts, that the Raptors are going to be getting like a Scotty Barnes or a Jonathan Kuminga, somebody like that, some sort of forward. So, you have that guy at the 3, and then you have OG goes to the 4, and then you could have Kristaps Porzingis at the center spot. You can still keep Chris Boucher as like one of the best 6 men in the NBA. You know, when Porzingis gets injured, which he will, Boucher goes in there, and it just kind of works out nicely. It opens up the court, gets a little bit more small ball going, a little bit more quickness to the team, and Pascal would be just amazing alongside Luka Doncic. So I can see Raptor fans hating that, but like I said, if they are looking to trade Pascal Siakam, it's not bad, assuming that other players and probably some picks. I would say Dallas would have to give up 1 or 2 first-round picks, which is also not a bad route to go if you are a Raptors fan, right? And then my other one, like I said, this is kind of like a double trip. We're kind of covering 2 teams here, and this is assuming how the playoffs go for like the Clippers. Some sort of like Porzingis plus picks for either Paul George or CJ McCollum. Just 2 guys, especially, you know, CJ right now is probably on the trade block. Paul George, if the Clippers lose, you know, before the damn NBA Finals, he's probably on the trade block. And by getting Porzingis and switching those guys out, you just get something different. Paul George and Luka Doncic work out nicely. I don't think Paul George minds being that second option, but also he can live up to it too. And then CJ, Damian, you know, just not really working out all that much, obviously, as far as the championship category goes. They got Norman Powell to replace CJ McCollum, and then CJ takes some pressure off Luka. So just kind of like some minor trades right there. But yeah, you guys let me know what you all think about these in the comment section below. Like I said, off the top of my head, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of other trades to be had, but you guys let me know your best trade in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace out, my friends.